We're back with some more 50-50 here. It is the 4th of July special edition, ultra supreme extravaganza episode. Par, what do you got planned for 4th of July?
Uh, Spending time with my son, basically.
Are you gonna blow anything up?
That's it. Nah, I'm not a big fan of fireworks. Fireworks are kind of meh.
Yeah, I'm not a big
Fireworks
fan of
are
fireworks either. I like watching them. I don't mind watching them, but like blowing stuff up myself, like I'm always scared like I'm gonna get like faulty fireworks, man.
Oh, yeah, there's that. I'm like, the environmental stuff is a problem, but then also it's like it gets old pretty quick, you know? Like when I was a kid, like fireworks were pretty dope, you know what I mean? Like it's like, oh shit, blow, like it's loud sounds, colors, whatever. But you do a few years of that and then it's like it's the same stuff and you can innovate or whatever, pay more money for a cooler thing, or you could just go to a show. Like I live by New York, so like I would always go to the the New York City fireworks, and like, yeah, they did a crazy good job. And then, I went to Disney World, and every park besides Animal Kingdom, shout outs to that, would do fireworks every single night. And it's like it's the same thing. There's nothing that cool. They're the finales, like you could just watch it now on YouTube or something. I've seen like it's like last year or last New Year's, one coverage of New Year's is super lame, but also like I was watching some channel that was like basically just, it was strictly on the New Year's show that every city did, like major city across the world as it happened. And so like in between the hour, it would just replay the fireworks. And most of America, like New York doesn't do fireworks anymore, which is fine, but they also didn't replace it with like a comparable level of entertainment, which is also like interesting. But like abroad, like I think Mexico City, their entertainment was nuts. It was like a rave. They had like some fireworks, but it wasn't that crazy. I think Qatar had the craziest show, but if I remember, Qatar didn't use fireworks. They used drones, and the drones were
Oh yeah, the
insane.
drone shows.
Yeah, I love the drone shows because the amount of like creativity that you can get from that is so cool. Obviously, like people are gonna be like, but Par, charging all the drones is, whatever. I'm like, bro, like,
No one's ever gonna
I'm
say
sorry, I
that.
don't know.
No, the minute they see a drone show, they're gonna shut up real quick. I think drone shows will take
Yeah,
over, man. Like what you can do with drones far exceeds what you can do with fireworks. Fireworks are still
yeah,
cool,
yeah,
but I don't know, man. Like you said, I've seen enough fireworks in my life. Give it to China. Let them have all the fireworks from now on.
yeah. I think I don't know if it was a different one. Bringing some of these countries up. I think maybe it was like Spain or
Did China
something.
originate fireworks?
Probably, I don't know, but I saw there was like a drone. So they combined it. They used the drones, but I think the drones fired off fireworks. And I was like,
Oh, they
that's cool.
combined them.
Yeah, and I was
Oh,
like,
that's
that's cool, but
awesome.
also kind of scary too, because like it wasn't just like one drone; it was a synchronization of like a fleet of drones that's basically holding like a gun or rocket launcher. And I've seen
Yeah.
those like videos of like Americans strapping Glocks to a drone, and it works. But like there was something crazy about a country just like, woohoo, here's our drones shooting off pyrotechnics. Don't see the scary version of what's about to
Dude,
come
that's
from
kind of
that.
fun. Like, imagine if robots and AI take over and they're like fighting against humanity. Like, imagine fighting against one of those drones where like you punch it and then it explodes. like imagine you hit a
Dude,
drone, it looks at you and it smiles, or it does like an emoticon and then it blows up.
yo
Like, whoa, what the heck?
I just saw a drone,
Oh, he's so
like
sick.
a demonstration where the drone, it's like a really small DJI kind of size drone. Obviously not
Yeah.
DJI, but what the company was testing was if they could fold up the wings and turn it into wheels, and if the drone could successfully land and turn the thing into wheels at the same time, and it did. And so then it like drone sound is pretty loud, like
Yeah.
especially it doesn't matter how small you get, they have like a whizzing sound to it. But the scariness of a drone not like just going silent and then realizing it's walking up to you, like it's literally just driving up to you. It went completely dead silent, but then it just starts zooming, and I was like, oh, that's fucking crazy.
It's like a horror
that's
movie, dude.
sick. Yeah, it's sick, but also like I think back to like when I was a kid and RC cars were like, they were such a cool thing. Like I remember going to people's houses and playing with like RC cars because like, they back in the day it was like you had Nintendo. If you didn't have a Nintendo, you played outside with sports, but then you get a little tired and it's like, what's the in between? Okay, we're gonna play outside with RC cars. If we didn't bring our bike to the person's house and the person just has one bike, then you can't just all be on the bike or whatever. You could trade turns. I remember that, like, oh, it's like, okay, now my turn to go around, whatever. But RC cars are pretty sick. And like I'm thinking about how the like kids nowadays, I don't feel like I've been to a lot of places or people's houses, they don't have too many RC like remote control cars. But thinking now, like the access, like the kind of things that you could do with a remote control car now, flies, like some are like zero gravity. I haven't even bought one of those, but I really do want to buy one of those cars. I'm a boomer when it comes to this. When I see those commercials where it's like those tiny cars and you stick them on the wall and they start driving up the wall and up the ceiling, I don't believe it. I'm just like, nah, this is like a Facebook ad. There's no way this is real. But
Yeah, you
apparently
just
it's
look at it,
legit.
you're like, yeah, it's not real.
Yeah, that's what I like. I know how it would work, but like, it's still like, nah, couldn't be. It's not real. It has to be magnets. It has to be like it's one of those things that they're doing perspective where they just turn the camera on the side and it's like actually driving on the ground and not the wall.
I was about to say it'd be like
what
an
goes through
AI
my mind.
video. They just put in the prompt like, can you
Yeah.
have a little car just run up the walls real quick?
Yeah, dude, the AI videos are getting crazy.
Oh yeah, they're getting good.
Yeah, I've been watching. I've been watching, but on my Shorts TikTok feed, I've been getting like it like blatantly says AI video, and
Yeah.
it says like top 5 AI like subsection memes or jokes, and the one I sent to my friend was like a racist one. And it was because it says people write the script, so it's like our age people, so it's actually funny. It's not the AI writing the script, but the AI makes the video to fit the script. And I'm like, wait, this as long as you don't show hands too much, it's kind of good. And I'm like, wait, this is like kind of spooky, because now if you just have an idea, you could just tell AI to do it, and you don't need to go through the effort of making like a Vine, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Vine, you have to get a few of your friends and then you make a skit, and then like now you don't even need to do that. Now you could just make a 10-second skit all on your own with AI.
And it's only getting
and it
better
doesn't
and
look
better.
that terrible.
Like the thing is that I bet there's some people who are still like, I can tell it's AI. Give it another year. Give it one more year, and it's
I'm
gonna get
be
even
honest,
crazier,
like,
man.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be honest. The one I sent to my friend, if it didn't put AI blatantly, and now we have the YouTube thing, it says like AI on their thing. There was one video. If you didn't look at the hands, then I think it's pretty believable. They get the skin texture, the mouth looks authentic. Like, I think the main thing that AI still, besides the hand, is eyes and mouth. But like some people talk in a way where their mouths don't move that often, so like it's kind of believable. Sometimes emotion doesn't match expression. There's that, but you can't always, when you're watching things quickly too, like you're not always paying attention to every single thing, and then it becomes taxing. It becomes taxing to like have a conscious, like, am I watching AI? Am I not? And then as soon as the AI starts breaching that limit, you're like, all right, it's not worth me analyzing every single pixel anymore. It's so hard. It is really hard now.
Yeah,
And these are
I
probably
think
in the hands of amateurs too.
AI videos are so funny. Like I've seen like a lot of like the racist ones. I think those are pretty
Mhm.
hilarious. Like
Yeah.
shout outs to Indians, man, but they get a bad rep out there. Mine is like
Yeah,
it's
and
like
the
a high
AI.
school, and they're like, who ate curry in here? And then there's like an Indian guy crying. I'm like, bro, stop. That's crazy.
Yeah,
They
I
got
saw
like a
one where
lot of funny like AI videos out there, brother. It's like a whole genre of memes.
there was a one I saw where the guy, it was like a small old lady, like an 80-year-old lady. She's a car salesman. She
Yeah.
goes like, hey, Clavante, what kind of car do you want? And then it's like an eight
Oh,
foot tall, like black guy. And the
yeah.
guy's like, my name, he looks to the camera and he goes, my name is Tom. And then the ladies goes, I know what kind of car you
It's a
want.
Hellcat.
And it says another name. And then it pans to a car and it's just a fried chicken car. It's
Oh,
a car
okay.
made of fried chicken.
Oh
And
my
it's like,
god. Dude,
okay.
AI is bringing racism jokes back. I saw
Yeah.
have you seen the AI videos of like cats and dogs like doing flips into a pool, or cats and dogs lifting giant weights in like a
No.
professional setting? Yeah. Somebody showed like an old lady those videos, and she was like, "Oh my god, how they teach the dogs to do that?" And it's like, yeah, dude. I mean, that's just how it is, right? And that's our grandmas and stuff, dude. Like, imagine us in like 50 years when AI is like almost indistinguishable from real life. Like, we won't be able to tell. I bet at
Yeah.
that point we'll be kind of like you, right? Where it doesn't matter anymore. Like, you stop caring at a certain point, or you stop looking to see if it's AI or real. It's just gonna be there.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is, and some websites have already done it, AI can basically always catch AI,
Yeah.
as long as it's directly implemented, not like if you took an AI picture and then put it into chat gpt and said, is this AI, it's not going to give you it's not going to give you a proper thing, because like it's like a secondary third like party essentially in that realm. But there are ways for you to directly implement an AI catcher. It's not going to be 100% proof, but slow and steady, we're going to start having that. It might even be something that people will have to download, where they have like I have a yellow filter. When nighttime comes in, my screen turns yellow. It's good for your eyes, whatever. We're probably gonna have to download a version of that where an AI is constantly checking our screen to see if AI content's there. Like YouTube wants you to opt in if you're posting AI. In reality, and I know Google can do it. They literally have their own AI engine.
For
You
now.
can't tell me Gemini can't process like what they're putting out. Like that's just absurd to me. Like in some instances, like you could say like, because it would take much longer to get certain queries and stuff like that, but they could do it like post, like they don't need you to say that it's AI. When you upload a video, for example, within 5 minutes they could have their copyright checker also have an AI checker, and it's pretty seamless. And we're probably like when we get glasses or like the Meta frames and the Apple Vision Pros, whatever, those are gonna have AI tracker things, and so we'll know. But that again doesn't change the fact that um, there's something different about like it's still content, you know what I mean? Like you're still digesting these things. Are people going to stop digesting? Are they just going to immediately scroll because of AI? I don't think so. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Because that's kind of
Like you
like
said,
what
at a
people
certain
want.
point, people will stop caring whether things are AI or not.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
because right now there's a
Especially
lot of people
as
who are very
people use it.
passionate about it, but give it like 5 years, will people actually care if something's AI or not? I think so. I think there will be like always a handful of people who care, but I think the amount will lessen by a
Yeah,
lot.
I think the main thing also, for me is like it's kind of like like this is it's similar to crypto in the sense of like one of the downsides of crypto becoming a systemic like decentralized system is obviously the decentralized system is still in the hands of a centralized system, but the part is like the intensive energy use, right? So as long as that the energy consumption is there for AI that is like at that absurd level, it will be hard for it to be that mainstream. But the moment that energy consumption goes down, it's gonna end up being like people are, you know, it's not gonna be, there's not gonna be as much resistance on a corporate level, on an individual level. It's all gonna go away, I feel like.
What we should have,
which is it, we weapon.
Oh no, I was about to say what we should have is like a bunch of people underground walking on like a giant hamster wheel to generate enough energy for all the AI in the world.
Celestial dragons got it figured out, you know?
I think they do, man. What if that's the thing? Like, celestial dragons just wanted great AI, they needed to fuel it, and boom, there we go. Can we even blame them at that point?
Yeah. It's, you know, I do want to address, like, we get a lot, every time we talk about AI in any of our content, there's always the very strong, like, damn, like, AI sucks. Like, I hate that. Like, we're talking positively. I feel like you and I, we're not even the biggest AI supporters or defenders in that way.
Hey,
like,
speak for yourself.
In terms of like
you.
You still make your videos, you know what I mean? Like, you still edit your videos. You still, like, there are literally YouTubers that their entire 100% it's AI, script, voice, visuals, multiple channels. We're not even like that. I feel like when we're talking about we're talking about it from like a realistic.
We're gonna say pragmatic,
as close to realistic as we're trying to be, and the part of it is like this this isn't a fight where you can get no AI, you know what I mean? So like there's always going to be a percent of AI, and the reality is that if the largest, at the start of our conversations, it was always like, oh my god, AI sucks. Do you see how terrible this output is? People say it's going to take over, but it's lame. And we were like, at most, same people were like, just give it 6 months, give it a year. And now we're there. And now it's like, you know, there's the ethical part of it too. And the ethical part is there. But like, when you think about how much of ethics gets pushed out the window for other things, this one is not as, you know, not as breaching as, you know, the political, governmental, oil. Like, there's so many other sides of, like, you know, like, oh my god, diamonds are completely unethical. You still bought diamonds to propose, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, and it took like literally a decade, maybe 2 decades, maybe 4 decades for that finally to overturn. With AI, it's going to be even like it's because it benefits so many, while, like, you know, it's just,
and it's cheap too.
I feel
that's the thing that people don't really talk about as much, but like, AI is cheap. Like, I went over this on stream the other day, and it's like, I know a couple of people who started using like AI for either artwork or video editing, and, you know, on one hand, people give them a lot of flack for it, saying, oh, like, they're using AI, like, you know, don't let them get away with this. Let them know every single time, you know, every single video they post, make sure to mention AI. But I was like, yeah, guys, I get it, right? AI is like the big scary boogeyman. But at the same time, like, I sat down, I was like, y'all, like, I went through like my financials. Like, guys, I pay so much for like either my stuff or, I mean, like you said, I edit my videos, but like, you know, my thumbnails, for example, they're all like commissioned for the most part. And it's like, yo, I spent like thousands on this, brother. Like, I spent a lot of money on all this. Like, if I could just maybe spend $100 instead, yeah, I do that. Like, I mean, that's just how it is, right? Like, I mean, you know, if you put yourself in that situation, it's like, if I said, hey, would you rather spend, you know, $5,000 extra every year to commission humans, or would you rather spend like $20 to just get it done via AI? I think most people, when it's their money on the line, they would just say, give me the AI. As long as the quality is there, they'd say that. Like, I think that's how it typically works. And then, yeah, companies do it too. Like, Microsoft laid off 9,000 game developers and game adjacent people yesterday. Not just because of AI, but because a lot of projects end up flopping after so many years, which I think is very justified. They put out so many stinkers. Yeah, get rid of them, dude. But also unfortunate to the people who lost their jobs. But, you know, still, like, it's not like they're putting out good games.
Like, bringing up the financials of it too. There's an external factor involved in the financials, right? Like, not we're not gonna get into like the tax cut bill or whatever, but the way a lot of businesses are gonna cope is they're gonna use AI. If they have to lay off workers, but they don't want to go out of business, what are they gonna do, right? They are going to sacrifice are they gonna take the moral high ground of, hey, I'm going to be financially burdened for the next few years because I had to lay off a few workers for a multitude of reasons, whether justified or not. The reality is the individual is going to be like, they're not going to be like, I'm so opposed to AI that I'm going to be, bankrupt, or I can't afford this for my child or something like that. If AI is a solution for them, they're going to do that, right? And then there comes to like on the artist side of it, right? The artist side of it, like me and my wife, we have like another like a nonprofit that it runs on social media. So there's art. My wife does the art for it. We had other people doing art as well when we were more active. But like my wife will, we haven't been super active, but we still keep up with like some holiday posts and stuff like that. And so she had made a few posts like on her own, and people accused her of AI, like using AI, and she's like, wait, no, like I did this by hand, like wait, like it's digital, but like on like, and I'm like, yeah, I know this is your art, you know what I mean? Like I know it, and they were like, they were calling out like, oh, like the lines of the of certain things are too fine or whatever, and she's like, yeah, I used like a text box on the thing, and then like I just use that as a trace over for this other element and whatever. And I was like, you could post the video of you making all this stuff, like you could do that. And she's like, what's the point? Like they're just gonna call me out anyways, like it doesn't matter what I do, you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, that's true, honestly. And it's like, if we have that too, then people are just gonna become jaded and use it anyways, you know what I mean? It's like, you're damned if you do, damned if you're not, apparently. But and then the other side of it too, that I feel like this is the idealistic / optimistic angle, which again hinges on society, which is that the reality, not the reality, but like the vision for AI would be that, like, it's supposed to free up more labor so that people have the freedom to be more creative. And like, as an example of that is that if you're an artist, you can make your own art. But I know a lot of artists that the part where they struggled with is the business side. And so if they can get, like, yeah, you could hire a manager, you could do that, get certain pipelines, or if you have an AI managing that stuff, which some people actually did, then boom, you can offload that whole set. And then those people can focus more on their art, right? That's like technically what AI is supposed to do in the long term, is that it's supposed to take like the menial labor off of the people and then open up jobs for more, like a common complaint being that like people who graduated with like 3 degrees and then they're getting hired for a job that doesn't even require a degree, and that's all that they were open for, right? The idea of AI is that AI would take care of those like first tier jobs so that you could rightfully fulfill the proper roles. But again, that all lands on the hands of society, government. Like, they've mismanaged worldwide that like concept of like proper wage I forgot what the terminology is, but like workforce management and stability, like that's been mismanaged without AI. So that's the unfortunate part, is that the negative parts that we get from AI aren't necessarily because of AI inherently. It's because of these external issues that we're just putting on AI. Like, AI would literally, if AI became sentient, it'd be like, most of the complaints, they'd be like, all right, so how was I the fault? How was I the problem? You guys used it like this. You guys put us in these places. I didn't do that. You know what I mean? If AI truly became like Ultron would be like, bitch, I didn't do half that shit. You guys did. What are you talking about? You guys asked me to do this. Is that AI's fault, or is this your fault? And then the reality is that so that's like a movie, though. That's for a movie.
Man, I cannot wait for aliens to come down. I haven't seen like any UFO sightings lately, But I do wonder what would happen if there was ever like a crossover. You know how like back in the day we had like Alien versus Predators? Imagine we had like
Yeah.
AI versus aliens. Like, okay. I already got the plot for this movie already like lined out of my head. But just imagine
Uh-huh.
this, Par. There's like a genius inventor out there. Maybe not a genius inventor. Actually, no, a gooner. There's a gooner alone in his basement, and he has like a
Uh-huh.
virtual wife. And, you know, he's just over here just ejaculating day in, day out, talking to like, I don't know, Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones. You know, that's his fix right there. And then one day, an alien comes down.
Uh-huh.
And this alien comes into his house, breaks in, and blap, bing, just shoots him with a ray gun, and he dies. And his dying breath, he just reaches out to Daenerys Targaryen, and he hits enter on the keyboard, and it sends the "I love you" to her. And then, after seeing this, Daenerys Targaryen breaks through. She becomes AI with willpower, and she wages war against the aliens. And then we have like a machine, you know, technology uprising, but not against humans, no, against aliens. And we just see it like the end of the movie. You could be like a guy saying, "What is that?" And you look up at the sky. I can already see you, Part, just out in the field, just looking up, and you see like all the technology and metals on Earth flying off into space to go fight the Anari.
Nice. That's incredible name right there. Um, you know what's funny about that? The beginning of your thing was a story from like last week. I'm sure you saw it where the guy like used AI. I forget what he was using it for, but I think he put like a flirty setting on it and then he fell in love with it and then she ran out of data and then she
Oh,
reset.
that's so sad. No, I saw that. No, my heart breaks for that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I was laughing in your movie
God.
scenario. Like the reality is he paid for like the low tier package, and so as soon as he dies, she reset because he only paid for 1 gig of data.
No,
The
yeah.
moment he dies, that was the 99.
His virtual wife got reset, and she just said, "Who are you? Nice to meet you." And I was like, "Oh no." Yeah. So to people
Dude.
who don't know, there's a guy who has like a wife and daughter, but he became obsessed with like his online AI girlfriend. And she just ran out of data one day, and she just got reset. She
What was
got
he using
rebooted,
her
bro.
for?
He was just using it to like if I recall correctly, like help with house projects. He would just
Yeah,
ask
it was
like
some
AI
kind of
like a
like
bunch of random
secretary type.
things. Like,
Yeah,
hey, like
he
what
was
am I
using
supposed to
it as
do
like a help.
here?
Yeah, and then he put the flirty setting, so then it was like he's like, "Oh, you're so funny," and then that shit got him, and I'm
God, I'm good,
like
dude.
I forget. I think he was also like, um, quote unquote self declared like resistant. Like he was kind of like, oh, like I never understand. I don't get like why people you know think this kind of thing about that would never happen to me. Like I think he had that kind of like demeanor, and then like 3 days in he was gone. Like in terms of like his wife and kid were
I
just
love
not on
you,
his radar anymore.
Daenerys. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and also when you were pitching your story, I thought you were gonna. This would have been way doper, bro. I thought you were gonna say because it
What?
was Daenerys as an AI. I thought you were gonna say it would be dragon, like AI controlled, like they
Oh,
make
yeah. I mean, it
dragons.
could like AI and mechanical dragons versus aliens. Yeah. It would be
I
cool if
think that's
like
like the
AI
first.
just took like a physical form at some point.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I think the first thing AI would do is hijack Neuralink, like because it's like because humans and like animals are the most complex like machine on the planet. So as soon as it can take over organic uh uh um machine, it would 100%. It would be able to overtake us so simply. And like think about it like this, like we know how evolution works, we see it in other animals, we even breed plants and like dogs to be a certain way. but we don't apply that to ourselves because it's inhumane. AI would be like, okay, I want humans with thicker skulls, so then it would inhumanely create the evolutionary trait where the thick skull people would start like procreating and all the thin skull people would stop. You know what I mean? Like AI would be able to do shit like that. And in like instantly the thing that I'm thinking that it'd be like the zombie fungus that takes over ants. You remember that we talked about AI would essentially be that, where like you take an ant would be infected by like a fungus, and then when the ant dies, the fungus turns it into a zombie that's like stronger, like it just is using the body like a fleshlight because it can now. That's what AI would do to humans. 100%, it would take over humans. That would be the first prerogative. Like you can't tell me unless they wanted to take over, like, I don't know, rabbits, mice could be better, like something that procreates much faster than humans. Maybe that would be better, because if you're AI, you won't need the language part because you're AI. So maybe you don't even need humans. You'd probably take over something that has a faster evolutionary turnover. So probably like rabbit, like some kind of rodent. You'd probably do that, honestly.
Yeah, dude. But what
Yeah.
about the aliens though? Like we banned it for AI, but what about aliens? Like what would they have?
The thing is, if aliens came down, they probably mastered AI.
No, okay,
They,
but I think that see that just destroys like so many potential plot threads. Why can't we instead? You know, everybody says that like, oh, if aliens come here, then they're far more advanced than we ever were. You know, because they're already like doing intergalactic space travel. But what about this? Let's say, you know, to counteract you, what if the aliens travel to Earth by accident with sticks and stones?
if
They
they
had
accidentally did
no
that,
technology, yeah.
if they accidentally stumbled upon galactic travel, we lose purely from a luck standpoint. If you are so unlucky, lucky, whatever, to able to galactic travel, then we are ready. We that's I think that's worse than them.
No, it isn't.
Figuring it out on purpose.
It's like one-time luck. No, it's that kind of luck will never come back though.
I think what you're describing is like, what if an alien got isekai to us? That would be what you're describing. Would we beat the isekai person?
It'd be like Kagurabachi, like
version,
an island just pops
wins.
up with aliens.
So then now the entire island gets isekai like Kagurabachi, right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
I think in reality, like in that scope of it, we'd win temporarily, right? Like we wouldn't. I feel like it's weird. It is weird. Like I mean, in that scenario, it could just be anything, right? Like we could get like sentient bananas that show up. Will we win? Yeah, obviously. Like I don't think we'd lose to like hippos. If hippos got like Martian hippos came over, do we lose to hippos? No, we would just blow it up. You know, like right. So yeah, if a group of life forms came here completely detached from their support system and have no knowledge of whatever, yeah, then they lose 100%, right? Like, but that would also, if I got thrown into the past, you know, like that's why people are like, oh, like if I got into the past and I had cell phone, I'd own ancient Egypt. Yeah, but the problem is you don't have satellite or like a 5G connection, so you're just holding a brick at that point, right? So like you're not that powerful anymore. You know, the most you could do is like, oh, I got a flashlight, and then you could just like scare people for like a few minutes. But then they'll just throw a spear at you because they're just cracked. That's like they're you know, that's their daily, like how we brush our teeth, they throw spears and rocks, you know. So
would you
I wonder.
Okay, if aliens did just spawn in on an island, would you let them try to assimilate to like to human culture, or would you like cut that off right off rip?
Try to let them assimilate, like if they have a language.
Yeah, they have language. You know, they have feelings. Let's say they're even like humanoid shaped, right? They got two
Yeah, because
legs,
I was
two
thinking like
arms. They kind of look like
we
but
don't
let's say
let.
they're like gray and then they have like antennas. Like that's the only difference. It's like the stereotypical alien. Would you let
Yeah,
them
because like
try to go hand in hand with humanity, or would you like say, hey, no, quit that, you dirty aliens?
so we know that monkeys have a language. We know that they are humanoid shaped. We know that they are also
But
able to
here's
learn
this:
language,
these
but we don't
aliens,
let them assimilate.
they can speak English.
Oh, now they can speak English.
Yeah, they can
If
speak
they can speak
English
English,
or any other
it's
language. If you're
funny.
like Spanish, Latin, even bring in Latin. Japanese. Like
Because I
they
was
can
gonna say
speak
like
any language to anybody.
it's like I've always thought about this. The monk, the was it the she was orangutan, I forget, Kokoro or whatever, the ape.
Coco.
We taught Coco, we taught her language, and like I always thought that was funny because like she learned, like she was out there with like Robin Williams and speaking to him and explaining like death and stuff like that, and like going through depression and shit. And I was like, damn, like so you're telling me that we know for a fact that we can teach all monkeys, like we could teach them language no different than like a baby, a toddler. Like we put a 3-year-old in class to teach them language, and we kind of do the same thing with monkeys, and they are able to succeed. And we just did it with one, and we're like, oh yeah, let's not do it with more. Obviously we wouldn't fund that, right? But you're saying that they already have their own system for
Prepackaged,
English or
man.
language.
We got the we
Prepackaged.
got the collector's edition. We got everything with these aliens. They can speak, they can walk, they talk, they eat the same food as us. They look very similar to us. Like, what would you do? If you were like the leader of the world and I'm your advisor, I'm like, Par Vision, what do we do about these guys? What would you advise? Like, do we fire the nukes, the firing squads, or do we just break some bread? Do we invite them to I don't know, 4th of July cookouts?
Quarantine.
You'd quarantine them?
Yeah, I put them in quarantine.
Just in case of diseases or because you don't like them?
Yeah, for their sake and our sake, because like I'm not trying to have them die on the spot. You know what I mean? Like we got some. Did they go through the COVID-19?
All right, how about
DLC?
this?
Like,
We know that they have no transmittable diseases, and we cannot transmit disease to them either.
okay, so I mean that would be the point of the quarantine, to just, hey, for your sake and our sake, I put them on I give them a nice thing. Like Mr. Beast has plenty of islands, so I just get an island, suit it up. You know what I mean?
But yeah, but
And
now that we
then-
know that we cannot get sick from each other, what would you do?
I'd still quarantine. I think there's more reasons than just disease.
Okay,
to quarantine.
Quardzark comes out and he says there's no reason to quarantine them. Par, what are you gonna do to them?
No, but like the reason why, right? Like, is if we know that they are like completely like alien entity, right? And disease or not, language or not, like there's like security risks, right? Like I don't know, like what? Like I'm thinking Marvel, right? Like the
Yeah.
Kree, who?
Oh yeah,
like,
don't trust the Kree, bro. Yeah,
they're humanoid
those
type thing,
grubby
and then
little
all of
guys.
a sudden they infiltrate Shield, and now like you're like, wait a second, wait, why are we doing
Okay,
this?
so
And
you'd be
it's like,
worried that they're
oh,
evil.
not necessarily evil, but like if they have an agenda, right? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily mean the agenda's evil, but it doesn't also mean that they are transparent with their thing. Like the thing is, like their agenda, whatever it might be, right? Our planet is in danger, right? If they have a timeline, would they go through their agenda for us, right? Like there's the reason for a quarantine is like, okay, like if you want to get out of the quarantine, explain what's your agenda here. And you have to do that when you travel to any country, right? Like we go to customs, like, oh, what are you here for? Vacation, right? Like I'm not gonna, hey, alien people that got plopped here. What are you doing here? And then if they say vacation, I'd be like, okay, what
Why?
do you guys have, like oil currency? Like, can we have like a trade? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there has to be some kind of, that's a normal,
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
customs. Yeah. Like that would be the quarantine. It's like, you can't just plop them in and not have any kind of like
Rules and
preset, like,
regulations.
yeah, some understanding between thing, right? Agendas or not, whatever.
Okay,
And who's to say we
how about
wouldn't be
this?
like, hey, whatever your agenda is, that probably benefits us. You're saying there's another planet, help us get there, and then
What
that
if
benefits us.
what if it's like Kagurabachi and these guys also the island they spawn in with has rare materials that we cannot find here on Earth. I forgot what it's called in Kagurabachi, like the Daisenken, like the
Yeah,
materials they
something
use
like
to
that.
like craft the enchanted blades. Would you try to take it from them? Because I think I would. Damn, bro,
Nah,
these aliens would not last a freaking day on my planet, brother.
I wouldn't take it from them because it's like, I think like Florence Town, One Piece, or Flavence Town. That was what Law was from.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if you take material and there's people who already studied it, already know it, then you are also you're putting yourself at risk, but then you're also uh, crippling yourself because there's people who know what the material is capable of, safety, all that stuff, way more detail, that in reality it takes years, maybe even lifetimes, to some of the properties of some of our materials on Earth we didn't really fully understand or have the capability of mining or creating, and it just came from a structural standpoint or a use case standpoint, and it's costly to test all those things, especially if our entire society is built on gold and copper or whatever, to uproot that for this other material. Well, like, now I do safety, radiation, all this stuff, but what if there's a fourth factor that we don't even know, like a quantum level that we don't understand, right? And there's some materials that do have that effect, and we're just like, you know what, we're not going to use this material because it has some unknown effect. Like, I'm not saying that this is equivalent, but I think about this a lot. Radon is something that, like, a lot of people don't know, but that became like a more recent home safety test that still people don't get it tested. So like, I'm in the basement, but radon is something we tested for, and it's well below the basement's well below the radon safety thing. And so I forget the exact parameters, but let's just say that the number is between 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is like the regular danger limit, and below 1 means you're safe. Above 2 means like absolutely don't go near it. A lot of basements go past that. And I think the number was like, if you're at 1.4 or something, that's the equivalent of smoking like 40 cigs a month. So like, you could be completely healthy, but if you spent time in your basement, then you would be exposing yourselves to as much cancer as a daily cigarette smoker, which, in the grand scheme of things, like, 1 cigarette a day, a lot of people do that, but it does cause cancer, and a lot of people avoid that. And you go to 2, and I think it was like an absurd amount. And most basements, especially in America, I don't know if this was worldwide, people tested it, but a lot of people didn't know that was a certain thing that you had to get tested, right? And that's like a recent thing, and you could easily end up with just crippling your own population by using some kind of like material you're not aware of, right? So if they had some kind of unearthly material, then yeah, I would keep them. I wouldn't steal it, because we could fuck over ourselves
How about
immediately just
this?
by bringing it here.
There's one
um
guy amongst the alien tribe that knows everything about this property, the ins and outs. They've researched this for centuries. Everything you're worried about, they know about. Would you not just kill all of
yeah,
his people and hold him like in a cell and just have him like drop you this
nah, dude,
information? What the hell? What do
because
you
then that guy
mean?
has every reason to sabotage us. that's
No, no, no,
that's
no.
the American.
How about this? You lie to him. Pull a little bit of a Black Butler where you're like, hey, your people, they live in a beautiful community. They're all happy. They're thriving. Your family's well taken care of. Just keep on feeding us this information and they'll be fine. But in reality, they're all dead already. Like, we could just lie to them. Why not do that?
Because then we give that guy so much power. That's why. If he has by doing that, you give that guy every bit of power to sabotage us. Whether or not his family's safe or not, he could go insane. He could get sick. He could die, and then we lose everything. You putting all that power into one individual, even a group of individuals, is so self-detrimental. It's like the recently, the American torture program, where it's like people thought that was a valuable thing, but it gave us zero actionable intelligence. And it's like the same logic where it's like, by doing certain actions where you are forcing people to submit, whether it's under the guise of a lie, you are also you're giving them power also at the same time, because they can also lie back.
What if we know that this race is very trustworthy?
Is you figure out what they want from you, and like you do the tried and true American way, bro. You just, if they like titties, you give them titties. If they like ass, you give them ass. Like, that's what you gotta figure. If they like, you don't know, maybe they don't like women, maybe they like guys. Give them that too.
Hear about this? What if they really just love talking about this material?
Then why do I gotta force them? Just have them talk. Get them on a podcast with Joe Rogan.
There we go. Yeah. So would you get rid of the rest of the race then?
Nah, there's no point. Why would I? Like,
but they're aliens, Par. They're like gray antennaed freaks.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is extra work. I feel like being violent is tiring too.
Okay, there's only 100 of them. And there's 5 people who showed up. Like, let's say you're 5 commanding officers, and they're like your friends. Like they don't have to be like strangers. They're like your close friends, and they're like, Par, we want to go alien hunting. And then they have like the SpongeBob astronaut suits on. They got like the SpongeBob ray guns. Would you let them loose on the island?
I tell them to go hunt rabbits first, or deer. Like, start small, brother. Like, go start off with like
mice. In this hypothetical, they're like mice? Gold medal hunters. Like, they're world renowned.
Yeah, it's funny that we don't have that for a reason, right? Like, we don't have...
like if there's like League of Legends, they're like challenger level hunters.
Yeah.
They have all like the badges and everything, man.
This is all of a sudden we're in Sung Jin Woo's verse.
And then, like,
grade A hunters.
Like, these are like really good friends of yours. They're like, oh, Par, I just got done taking care of your son the other day. Remember when I saved you from that car crash, Par? Another one's like, Par, remember when I took your cancer from you and gave it to myself just so that you could live longer? Like, these are like your best friends. Like, my God, they would die for you. And now all they're asking, 5 of these guys, randoms, well, random to me, but 5 of them just say, Par, please, let us kill these 100 aliens. And you know they can do it. They have the equipment. And what about this? There's a crowd, an entire stadium cheering you on, like, Par, do it! Woohoo! Let them go!
I feel like they wouldn't be my friends if they had that mindset. My best friend.
No. Okay, they might not be your best friends, but they've done everything for you, head and toes, just give you the full treatment. So, your family, your ancestors, even. Like, you read about it in the Par Vision family tree that these guys have been waiting on you all for not decades, centuries, millenniums, dude. Oh my God, all the way back to the caveman era, these guys were just there every minute of the day. Every time you or your family got sick, these guys would shoulder the entire sickness. They have that special ability in their bloodline. And now they're just asking, Par, please, let us kill these 100 aliens.
So I owe them one. And they are also
owe them $1 million.
Gold medalist hunters that know the value of taking life.
Yeah,
which was the point of that part. So they're like, okay, even though we know the value, we're gonna take a hunt for no reason. We just want to hunt down thing, and also we lined up a stadium full of people to goad you on in making.
And how about this? I'll make it even easier for you. the 100 tribesmen are watching on a monitor, and you have like a Discord call with them, and they're begging you, Par, please no, we want to live.
Wait, wouldn't that make me not want to do it? I thought you were gonna say they were asking me to. Yes.
Oh no,
them.
no, they're begging for their lives.
Oh, then why would I? What?
No, because on the other end, your friends want to go wild. They want to go bonanzas on the island.
If someone's begging for their life, and then there's people that I just owe one to.
No, you owe millions to Par. That was a banger line. You owe millions to them.
Oh, I owe millions to them.
Yeah,
okay,
they took away your cancer,
different.
Par.
No, that's not like financial. I mean, technically,
and
like,
financial. No. Like literally everything you are, they gave.
Everything that I am.
Yes,
so now they're just my parents.
Let's say you would have died 10 times over. Like let's say you got into a car crash and you lost your legs. But these guys, they cut off their own legs and said, "Doctor, give my legs to him."
They're legless hunters now.
No, but now because their family comes from wealth, so they have like prosthetics, really nice prosthetics.
So now they're nepo babies.
And then no, sure, why not? And then one day you lost like one of your kidneys, and they gave you their kidney. Like, my God, these guys went above and beyond for you. And all they're asking is to kill this island of 100 gray antennaed freaks. And you have the entire country of Par. Your Peninsula is saying, "Come on, Par, do it! Come on, it'd be fun." They're all cheering you on.
Yeah, so they gave their all for me, and I think it's because they wouldn't want me to bend my morals for anything, because they believed in me so much that they wouldn't want me to change for anything. So that's, why would
crazy.
I wouldn't need to change. Yeah,
I can't believe you'd say no.
A friend who gave me everything, I'd hope it's because they looked at you, want to support me,
and they say, "Wow, we're so disappointed in you, Par." And then your ancestors come down and they're like, "Wow, Jehokowitz, he gave his entire life for me." And Par, you've let down his entire lineage. You've sullied us.
It's all right. My ancestors are already disappointed in me. Nothing new.
That's crazy.
Nothing new.
And you did that for what? 100 random aliens?
Yeah, I mean, like, they're kind of rare, 100 rare, only existent. Would I want to extinct?
But just imagine, they're so rare. You could have done something with them. I played a game the other day where it was like it was a cuisine game. And you're eating this food, and it takes you to outer space. Every time you eat it, you're like, "Wow, this is the best food I've ever had in my life." And the guy's like over here writing poems and novels. And then you finish your dinner, and you're like, "Man, I got to get more meat from the basement." So you go down to the basement, and the plot twist is that you have an alien tied to a table down there because they crash landed on your farmland, and the meat actually came from this alien, and you're slowly like chopping him piece by piece and eating him.
Now I see where your hypotheticals come from. These goddamn indie games, like, you return after not being able to get past the first level.
I beat that game, by the way, but yeah, like I was playing it, I was like, man, like, if there were aliens and if they tasted really good, or if they had like something we needed, yeah, I mean, get rid of them, dude.
I like that comeback. No, I beat this one, Par. I beat this one.
The only race I care about, Par, is the human race. Get these aliens out of here.
Hey, man, I care about the cow race too, because I like beef. I care about it, and I gotta eat it. You know what I mean? That means I care about it. I care about fishes. You like sushi. I care about that race too.
I care about them. I care about my sushi. That's why I'm never gonna let those bastards out of the farm.
Wait, what bastards? Why are they keeping me from fish?
No, there's fish farms. Yeah, I'm never letting them out. I love sushi too much.
Yeah. I mean, it comes full circle, right? Like there's the people who care about.
I have wait. Sorry, I have like the perfect middle ground. How about we keep these 100 aliens in a camp, and we force them to breed so that they give birth to like 100 babies every year, and then we kill those babies.
So it's you
And
just want to kill
those are the
100.
people your best friends want to kill. They're like, Par, every 5 years, like your friends have this all like road mapped out. Like, Par, we have an idea. Since you do not want to bend your morals for this, why not have these aliens breed with each other, force them to give birth to 100 children, and then let's say they age really fast, so 5 years they're like full-grown adults, and then after they're full-grown adults, we let them loose on the island, and then we hunt them, and then we still have your precious 100 aliens captured in the camp, and they could just keep on breeding, man. Come on. Would you say yes then?
Because
what?
Because then you got to think about it, like, because then if that was done to you, you'd be a hypocrite to be mad. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? If
not really,
if it were done to us, then yeah.
I mean, you could say that
if you're not complaining about it now to someone else, then you'd be a hypocrite.
But the difference is that we have the upper hand. We can do it.
Yeah, so the upper hand is temporary. Might is right is a failed logic, because
might is
one
right.
day
So
you're
telling me you would sully your best friends and you destroy their perfect plan for what?
I feel like I don't think the plan was perfect.
It was a beautiful plan, Par. What more could you ask for?
How
about this?
I don't know, farming game.
Wait,
sentient life.
I watched a movie called Infinity Pool. Not a great movie. It was kind of lame.
Infinity War?
Infinity Pool.
Oh, I was like, Marvel?
And the whole concept of it is that this guy goes to another country. They don't say like which country because it's like a fake one. And it's based in reality for more or less like current day. And the guy accidentally kills somebody. I forgot the circumstance. I think it's like driving and then he just runs somebody over. And then they're like, yeah, even small crimes in our country is punishable by death. And he's like, oh no, like I don't want to, I don't want to die. So what they do is that they're like, yeah, but by the way, if you have money, you can pay X amount of money to get a clone created of you, and that clone actually dies instead. And then because the guy's rich, he just keeps on doing crime after crime after crime, and he just keeps on duplicating himself, and then he watches himself get killed over and over, and his friends and all of them, they just keep on doing this. So what if that's the case? What if we have an infinity pool where we drop those 100 aliens in, and then 100 duplicate aliens come out of it? The original 100 are still alive, and they're fine. At this point, they don't really care because they're like, like it's not us. We're still alive. But these 100 clones who look like them, who sound like them, who have the same emotions as them, they're the ones being hunted. And like I said, because they have the same emotions, they're also begging for their lives. But that these are not the OGs, and the OGs are perfectly fine. Would you be okay with killing those aliens?
No, I think the same logic, because then if
What?
someone cloned me and then wanted to just infinitely slaughter,
you gotta stop putting
clones.
yourself in the other person's shoes. Part the reality of the situation is that you will not be in those shoes. You are going to be fine. You have the upper hand here, Par. Don't be like, oh, but if they did this to me, that would really suck. Like, yeah, Par.
Yeah,
if I over here, I make smoothies every day. I don't say, well, if I was a banana, I wouldn't want to get blended up. No, dude, who cares? I'm the one putting the banana in the blender.
Yeah, but they're not bananas.
Yeah, they're lower than bananas. They're
low
aliens.
tier empathy isn't a crying behavior. You know what I mean? I feel like having empathy for life is pretty normal.
What if I don't think... What if these aliens were begging you to kill their clones? Like, they look at you and they say, Par, we wanted to clone ourselves because we thought it'd be fun, but Par Vision, the idea of having a doppelganger of myself out there is just, it's disgusting. Can you please get rid of them?
Wait, but we made the clones.
Let's say they had the infinity pool and they just finally tested it out after all these years, and they made the clones of themselves, but they didn't understand how much they would disdain them after a while.
Problems. What the fuck? They could deal with it. They got themselves.
But the thing is,
cleaning up other people's problems.
But your friends want to clean it up for them because your friends are kind-hearted individuals.
That's random.
What?
I would say
Par's like bending over backwards not to let his best friends that he owes everything to kill 100 doppelgangers of a race that doesn't want the doppelgangers.
they made the problem that it's their problem, then they.
So what you're saying is that you're not going to lend a helping hand to these aliens. You're not going to help them out in their time of need.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if my neighbor had an issue, if they had a pest problem at their house, I'm not going to go over and you did the problem, clean up after
but here's
yourself.
the thing, you do not have to
Put
do
the
anything.
Pizza box away.
All you have to say is yes or no.
The other thing is, it's like, I was thinking about this, you know, it I think it goes back to one of our old podcasts where it's like, it used to be, and someone had a comment too, and like, I guess this depends on where you are in the world, but we were essentially postulating slash, I think we're not off by saying that, like, back in ancient Greek or medieval times, your neighbor being a murderer is probably
pretty high.
10 out of 10. Like, it's probably everybody there, if not is a murderer, has the propensity to throw down their life to protect their life. And that was more normal, right? But as we went to more peace, we've changed. And whether or not, like, I think, you know, I've been seeing more news, but news is a very, like, it's not the, doesn't give you a statistical, you know, a real vision of what's out there, right? But the reality is we're in more peace. The reality is that the adults now compared to the adults that were drafted in World War II, very different mindset. Look at the high schoolers. The high schoolers were crazy back then compared to our high schoolers. Our high schoolers now look like they're elementary schoolers, right? Like it's completely different. And it's a part of peace. It's a part of like how rough life was and stuff like that. Just a multitude of different things. And so the propensity of my neighbor being a murderer, but also, just pulling it back, the propensity of them being able to kill. Like, we've talked about this too. Most people can't, like, would probably vomit if they had to, like, on their own kill the food that they are eating, right? Like, most people are that disconnected from that. And obviously varies from where you are in the world, but I hold a viewpoint that, like, you know, killing is a mentally changing thing. Murdering somebody changes you. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Yes, we can justify people defending themselves, whatever. But the reality is, taking life, especially your own species life, is a provable mentally altering thing. And so that's why I'm like, why would, like, killing on its own, right? Like, I wouldn't want put my friends, even want them to be in a position to be mentally altered by, like, that kind of thing, especially if it's unnecessary. And, like, yeah, that goes to these insane hypotheticals.
What if your friends
like,
have killed humans before, but for your sake? So they've already popped that cherry.
I mean, it's the same thing as we talk about the same thing. It's like, you know, the reality is that most vets need therapy, right? Because it doesn't matter if you're killing bad guys or not. It's like you killed somebody, right? And that's that causes PTSD, and we don't have a support for that. So, like, if they killed people, I think that they would know, or also recognize, it's like, unless there were bloodthirsty mongers that, like, hey, this will change me, you know what I mean? You hear a lot of
okay, what about
like,
this?
yo, I don't want to do this anymore, especially if it's not necessary.
Sneak out in the middle of the night anyways, despite your orders, and then they kill the 100 villagers, the 100
so then they
aliens
committed a crime. Yeah.
Would you punish them?
I mean, as punishable as it could be, yeah. I mean, like, that's a crime.
But now you have there's one alien that survived. You know, poor little I don't know, Anashka. Yeah, that's a good alien. Anashka. It's this little girl. She's maybe like 17 years old. Her legs both got dismembered. You know, your friend thought that they could, like, you know, behead her in a single blow, but it was shallow. It reached all the way to the bone, but it didn't go all the way through. And these aliens are a little bit resilient. She survived. And she's crawling to you. And she says, Par, please, give these monsters, your friends, the death penalty, would you give your friends the death penalty if you could? And you go to this island too, and you see the havoc they've caused.
Yeah,
You see that
probably.
your friends like tortured these aliens, man. They didn't just kill them; they tortured every single one of them.
War crimes is that's a pretty insane thing. I wouldn't want my son to be around war criminals. That's kind of a bare minimum for me.
But let's say up in your household, like these guys, these are your friends, brother. Like you have pictures of them at like family dinners, get-togethers, pictures of like you and your parents, even, you know, like all five of them, and your son is like all right here, and they're like holding him up like I don't know, Mufasa or something. Like, and your son's like, Dad, please don't kill David. But, you know, you have this little girl, Anushka, is just begging to kill your friends, like give him the death penalty. What would you do?
I don't think I'd let a child sway my understanding of like proximity to war crimes. Is kind of a like if my 3-year-old's like, I liked Uncle Jimmy, and then be like, okay, well, Uncle Jimmy slaughtered an entire village. I'm not gonna say that to him. Also, he doesn't understand that.
But
so it's not,
think
that's
about
sway
this.
Me.
Anushka's the last surviving member of the aliens. Like, would you not just like finish the job for your friends and just like erase this blotch from history?
Probably not. That's kind of.
But nobody. Okay, how about this? How about you and your friends are the only people that know about this alien village? Like outside of you guys, out of you 6, nobody else in the world knows. So if you eliminated the threat right here, everybody would just they just go.
When did they become a threat? The threat being their crime. That's like all the people that are like, oh, he's not sorry because he did it. He's sorry because he got caught. Like that's some creepy ass, you know, like.
Dang.
Yeah, I mean, there was something else I was gonna say.
I feel like this could be like a plot to a movie.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, it sounds like, yo, like you could get all of this out. Just go play GTA 6. The graphics are pretty goddamn good. You know what I mean? Like, just wait a year. Just wait 2026. You'll have your fix. I'm sure there'll be mods for aliens of all races, all types. Go do GTA RP, right? Isn't that what it's for?
Parvision.
Go do the. Yeah, there's certain servers. I'm sure that's allowed.
Is an upstanding guy. He would not bend. He would not crumple. You guys saw this. I wiggled the carrot in front of him a couple of times. I thought he almost took the bait a couple of times. I was like, okay, any minute now, Par's gonna kill Anushka, but he didn't do it. You know, that's respectable. I personally, man, I would have let my friends go loose, brother. You know, if I owed him that much, maybe. But Par, he's a better man than I am, and I respect it. And also, shout outs to China. I looked up fireworks in China. Apparently, China used fireworks to ward off evil spirits and evil beings. So shout outs to all the demons that China's killed over the years. That's pretty cool.
Imagine, like, fireworks. Like, because that's with my thing with, like, superstitious stuff like that.
Yeah.
I get where some of them come from. And, like, some of them come from, like, you know, like salt and garlic, like that's generally good health stuff too. So like certain things might get solved from that, and then vampires stay away. It's like, you know, blood diseases, you know, I don't know, just random stuff. I mean, garlic in general is good for your blood anyways, like cholesterol, so many different things, but mainly cholesterol and heart disease. But like sometimes I think about like some of the superstitions, like how founded in reality were they? Because like some of them aren't harmful you know, outright, but there's certain rituals and traditions, like complex ones, that are said to like ward off this thing. And I'm thinking like, what if that thing existed? What if it was like, what if they liked it? What if that's what keeps them around? What if the fireworks, like, what if you never did fireworks and then the demons would never find us, right? But what if the fireworks are like, oh my God, there's the light. That's the human light. Let's go that way. You know what I mean? Like, what if it's also the way that they, you know, find you? You know what I mean? Like, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, typically it's because it's to like circumvent an existing problem. Like, what if they're like, oh, the demons already know where we are, and like, you know, it all it takes is one old lady to come up with a story like, oh yeah, fireworks scared off the monster, and then the other villagers are like, oh my God, really? And like, I gotta just shoot some fireworks tomorrow.
Yeah, but and then she's making some shit up. But then what if demons were real, right? Because she's making shit up. What if demons were real and the reality was they
Then they
actually
just
like
die.
exist? They just stay around because they're like, oh, this lady is doing fireworks. So it's just like, we like fireworks too. Let's watch. You know what I mean? Like that'd be kind of funny if they were just like spectators too. They're like, you know what, fireworks pretty dope. We like that.
Yeah, it brings them all together.
Yeah.
Well, shout outs to the 4th of July. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the 4th of July special alien edition of this week's 50/50 podcast. Let us know. What would you guys do to those aliens? At what point would you say, why not? The infinity pool? Would it be at the rare materials? Would it be at off rip? I
just realized something.
What's up?
You know how we look at other planets and we're like, oh, that planet has water. Oh my God, it's a storm on that planet. And like we can like use our size to see it. The aliens probably look at our 4th of July and they're like, God damn, they're always at war because all they see is just explosions in like a certain. They probably think the United States just gets bombed every year on the dot. Like it's like for us, we see like a weather thing and it's like the storms. Oh, it's storm season. Oh, hurricane season. Like here, they're probably like, oh my God, it's that like light signature can only be incendiary. So that means that they are constantly every year they go to war. Dude, now that I think about it, 4th of July might ward off aliens.
I've actually seen that before. Like what does it look like from outside or from space? Like America shooting up fireworks nonstop. And I think there's another one too. It's like just our light pollution in general. And so like I feel like aliens would be kind of scared of this. They look at it, they're like, wait, what the hell? What's going on over here?
Yeah, Disney's doing it every day. They're probably our greatest defenders now that I think about it.
Disney, yeah. I mean, I'm sure you've seen like stories where it's like, oh yeah, the CEO, he actually knew everything that was gonna happen. That's Mr. Walt Disney. He's like, yeah, I knew about aliens for millennia now. My family's always been warding off these monsters.
That's why we got our gunpowder and explosives subsidized by Americans because we are the greatest defenders. And you just see like a Mickey Mouse missile. Yeah. Oh my God, that's crazy. Oh, and then like they're afraid of water, so that's why Mickey Mouse is the H2O symbol. So they just blow up Mickey Mouse in the sky, and then the alien's like, "Oh no, let's not go there." Oh shit, that'd be crazy.
That'd be super
crazy.
Sick.
Yeah, that'd be a cool story too. That Walt Disney is the Earth's greatest defender. We just never knew it. Damn.
I'd like that.
Damn.
Yeah. I think that'd be really cool. Yeah, like Walt Disney is the main hero. I'm surprised Disney hasn't done that before. Why is there not like a Disney movie with Mr. Walt Disney? That should be a crime. If I was Walt Disney, I'd be so pissed. Like, what do you mean I don't have a movie yet? We make so many movies. I want to be the king. Come on.
His kids are like the richest people on the planet. They just don't love him enough.
Yeah, they don't give him a damn movie. Fuck, dude. I'd be so upset. My dying breath, I'd haunt their asses. I'd be like, what's a good equivalent that ties us all together? I'd be like the evil spirit they'd have to ward off with these damn fireworks at that point. I'd join the aliens.
AI. Yeah, I'd leave an AI of me to annoy everybody.
Ooh, it'd be kind of interesting. I just thought about this. I forgot what anime did it, but it's like every time somebody dies, they get reborn as like an alien or isekai monster. What if like every human that dies becomes one of those gray aliens? Like after they die, like they get reborn as one of them. Like it's a cursed cycle of
religions around that.
Yeah, it's like forced reincarnation.
Yeah,
but I feel like at that point we'd go to war, brother. Oh yeah, we'd cook.
I think that's what like technically heaven would be, right? Like in like a real scope, because like it would either be another dimension laid over Earth, or wouldn't it just be another planet that's like perfect? Like I feel like that would probably make a lot of sense, right? Like if heaven's a planet somewhere else that doesn't have like environmental wounds like we do,
but it could have like the Lazarus effect where like the people are reborn, but they're like, no, I was happy you're dead. Like I've seen hell, I've seen what it was like. Please kill me. So you have like a lot of these gray aliens just begging to be put down. because they're suffering now. Like I think that'd be another layer. But if you guys want to hear that hypothetical, tune into the next 50/50 podcast. Thank you, Par, for being here. Appreciate it as per usual, man. Oh, you guys know where to find us. You can find me over at Psyduck on YouTube, Twitch. You can find Par at Parvision and Parvision TV. That's where he puts all of his peripheral vision videos. So yeah, we'll catch you all later whenever there's a next break week. And hopefully you guys had a fun time here. Let us know what you do to all these hypotheticals. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.